Hello friends, welcome back. This is Sanjay Singh here and welcome to this Java Ashram tutorial. So in this session, we are going to learn about the parent reference variable and the child reference variable. So we will learn when you should go with the parent class reference to hold the child object and when you should go with the child class reference to hold the child object. Okay, so we'll see the difference between the parent class reference object and the child class reference object. So this is one of the most important question also. This is not the traditional asked questions in the interview room. Okay, but this is the questions that many developer or people ask answer to fail this. Okay, so we need to understand, okay, whenever you are going to design the code or writing the object oriented code, you must understand which option you should choose. Either you should go with the uh, with the parent class reference to hold the child class object, or you should go with the child class reference to hold the child object. So in which scenario you should go with which option, we will learn here, and we'll see the major difference between these two. So let's see and do the practical session also in this tutorial, and see how you can easily understand and when you should go with the particular scenario. So let's go. Okay, so if you see here, this parent class p is equal to new class means the child class. Using the new operator, we are creating the child class object and storing into the p reference variable. So P is the reference variable of the parent class. Same thing with child class, C is equal to new child class, right? So if you see here, okay, in the next slide, like parent P is equal to new child class, okay, it means here P is the reference variable of parent class which holding the child class object. This is the general concept. Generally, we already know while learning the Java itself, learning the object oriented programming. It's not about Java. Any kind of the programming, either it's a Java or .NET or the Python or the Scala. Okay, whichever the programming language you go with object oriented concepts, okay, it will be applicable for all, right? And the same case with the C is the reference variable of child class object which are holding this child class. So P is referring to the child class object, and here the C is the child class reference variable which are holding the child class. So we see the major difference between these two lines. Okay, and if you are experienced programmer or experienced resource of the Java, you must understand these concepts. Okay, let's go and see the use case. Okay, we'll give you the one analogy uh, to show when you should go with the parent class reference variable to hold the child object, and when you should go with the child reference variable to hold the child object. Okay, so let me give you one analogy. Okay, so we'll see here majorly two type of analogy over here, like when you should go with parent reference to hold child object and when you should go with the child reference to hold child object. So let me first show you the analogy. Let's assume you have array is a size of 5, so indexing starts from 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, and each pocket of this array holds some object. Okay, so each pocket is holding some object. It could be the student class object, it could be the the teacher's object, it could be the object of school object, it could be the bank object, it could be any kind of object. So we don't know what kind of the object the array is holding. Okay, and you need to get that object array, right? You need to retrieve this object. So you don't know about this. So if this is the integer, you can store this value into the integer object. Like if you are if this object is a string or a students or teachers, you can hold that object into that kind. But we don't know at runtime, okay, what kind of the type of object will be there, we don't know, right? So what we need to do, Okay, so how will we access this object? So we have a list dot get zero. This is the API generally we use to get the element. So if you are passing the zero element, it will give you the first index of that object. If you are passing the one, it will give you the second object of that array. But to hold this, what kind of the reference variable you need? Obviously you cannot, if you are giving the student type of reference variable, so that can hold only the student type, right? But you don't know at runtime, okay, what value will come, okay, in which pocket, what kind of type object is there, right? We don't know. So how will you hold this at runtime? So for that you need a parent class. Okay, so object class is the parent of all object. So we'll be holding any kind of object into the object reference variable. So this will execute it successfully completely. Okay, let me give you the another analogy, okay, to understand better. So suppose if you are writing one method called public, and I'm not putting any return type, and I am just getting get uh, list object. Okay, and this is somehow returning, maybe return linked list, okay, or it can return array list, it can return stack, it can return vector, right? Now from main program, how we'll call this? So you will get list object, okay, and based upon the functionality, either it will return the linked list object, or it will return the array list object, or it will return the stack object, or it will return the vector object, right? So which kind of object it will return, we don't know. So at the runtime, the system will decide, your program will decide what kind of object you want to return from this method. Okay, so what kind of reference variable you will be defining to hold this kind of object, right? So you cannot create a linked list object, reference object, and you can hold the linked list only, because the next time the array list object can come, very next time the stack object will come, very next time vector will come. So you will have to find the way, like you will have to give the parent class reference variable such a parent class so that it can hold the any kind of object, right? So we'll return here list, okay, and here we'll also return list and object. So why list? Why list? Because if you see the array list, or the linked list, or the vector, or the stack, all are derived from list only. So list is the parent interface. We can holds any kind of the object, right? Which is derived from the list, right? So these are all the the classes that has been derived from the list interface. So all these classes should be able to hold, okay, uh, and this list should be able to hold the reference, okay, variable of that all the object. Okay, so let's go there and see again. Okay, so by seeing this two analogy, what we can conclude? Okay, we can conclude that if we don't know exact runtime type of object, then we should go with this approach. This is also called a runtime polymorphism. Polymorphism means to show different behavior in different instances. Okay, this is called the polymorphism. So we don't know the exact runtime type of object. Okay, it's returning what kind of the array it's holding the object. Okay, then we should go with this kind of approach. So at the runtime, its behavior is coming. So the live example is, when you are driving the car, okay, at runtime, you change the gear, right? One gear, two gear, three gear, four gear, fifth gear, if you don't have an automatic car. Okay, then at the runtime, gear is same, but it's showing the different behavior in different instances. We were putting the reverse gear, the car is going backward, right? When you are putting the forward gear, one gear, the car is moving forward. Okay, so gear is same, but it's showing the different behavior in the different instances. This is called the polymorphism. So this is the dynamic polymorphism. We also say this is the runtime polymorphism. Okay, and C is the child class reference. We are holding the child class object. Means we know the exact runtime type of object. Then we should go with this approach. Like we know like this particular method is going to return the integer. We know like the particular method is going to return the string. Then we should go with this approach. Okay. So let's move ahead and see the another approach. Okay. And let me first give you the analogy. So let me take you to the Eclipse. Okay, so this is the Java class framework. So let me code and create one class quickly, parent class, and here uh, public. Okay, sorry, why not? Should be class only one will be public. Okay, and here let's public int. Let's write the sum method to add the two number. Right, int num1 comma int num2. Okay, and it's returning after adding this two number num1 plus num2. So this simple method I have written. So this method is just receiving the two input parameter from the other source, and it's adding that and returning to the user, right? And let me create child class and derived this parent class. Okay. So by deriving this, okay, this child class will inherit all the property of this parent class. Okay, and in this class, let's write one subtract method to do the subtraction. Okay, and here let's say num1 comma and num2, right? And here it should return the subtraction of two number, right? Okay, so this is the parent class which are holding the one method. This is the child class which extending is the parent class. Okay, and this is the one method, subtract method, just we are defining as per the naming convention. Method should be starts small. Okay, so if you see here, this child class is holding virtually two methods. One is the sum method which are coming from the parent class. Since this is the child class which are already inheriting the parent class, okay, this will hold two method, right? Sum and subtract. So if we go to our first analogy, okay, like parent class e is equal to new child class. Okay, but it's doing creating the child class object and this parent class reference variable holding the child class object. So using this, okay, using this reference parent class reference variable, you can call only the parent class method. You cannot call using this reference variable, you cannot call the child class method. Okay, so what you can do, sys out, uh, let's say sum of is, and here I am calling p dot sum, passing 10 comma 20, right? So I'm doing nothing, I'm just calling this method, okay, to sum this number. And if I try to run this, okay, control M, okay, sum of two number is 20, it's coming. Okay, if I am trying to call this subtract method, it won't come. v dot subtract sub. There is no subtract method. So the limitation is, okay, some. The limitation is you can only using the reference, parent reference, you can call only the parent method. But see the magic. If you are creating the child class, C is equal to new child class. Okay. Using this, you can call the parent. Okay. Okay. And sum of two number using parent class reference. Okay. Sorry. Child class reference. Okay. And here C dot sum. C is the reference variable of child class, but sum is the method of parent class, right? Right? Then still we are calling that, correct? Okay. Fine. And here I'll be using the uh, C. I'll be calling subtract. So 20 and I'm passing 10. And here subtract of subtraction of two number is, right? Control S, right? So if you see here, using the C reference, C is the reference of child class, which are holding the child class object only. We have access for both parent class method and the child class method, right? And let's run this. You see, sum of two number is 20 and subtraction of two number is 10. So based upon the parameter, whatever we are passing, okay, it's giving the result. If you pass 50, 10, it will give the 40. So whatever, it's up to you how you are designing the program, right? So here we can conclude this parent. Using the parent reference, we can call only the parent class method, right? However, while using the child class reference, you can call both parent class method and the child class method, right? So let's see. So this was our second conclusion. By using the parent class reference, using this line, we can call only method present in the parent class, and child specific method we won't be able to call, right? We saw in this code, right? And same thing, by using the child class reference, we can call both parent class method and the child class method. This also we saw in the code. And another conclusion also we arrived, we can use parent reference to hold any type of child object, right? We have seen this, correct? And we can use child class reference only to hold for that particular child class object only. If you go to the Eclipse and if you are trying to store like this child C is equal to new parent class, you won't be able to do, right? Because backward compatibility is not allowed, right? So child class, if you are holding child class, will able to hold only the child class object, right? Not the parent class or not the any other class, right? Got it? So this was all the differences and this was all the use cases of using the parent class reference object to hold the any kind of child object, and to using the child reference to hold the child object. You also learn when you should go with the parent class reference and when you should go with the child class reference. So it's totally up to you. Like whenever the requirement is, we don't know the runtime, what kind of object you are going to receive, then always go with the parent reference to hold the any kind of object. And we don't know in advance what kind of or what type of object we are going to receive at runtime or at the static time, then we should go with the child class reference. So this was all about these important concepts Okay, I hope if you have gone through this design or the coding, you have faced this type of situations when you should go with what kind of scenario. So that's all about this tutorial. Okay, if you have a time, see you in the next step. Bye bye.